Yay, we're live. Welcome, Sonya. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Macy Matarazzo. I am the creator of SuperLOVED, and we're here to share your experience in this community. And we're going to talk a little bit about where you started, what changed in your life as a result of this, and where you are now, and hear the juicy details of your love story. So, why don't you share with us a little bit about you and your life and what was happening when before you started doing super love stuff?
I've thought that there was something totally wrong with me and that I couldn't find the person that I was supposed to be with. Um, I have some issues, some disabilities that are kind of new in my life within the last 7 years. Experienced two traumatic brain injuries. And so at that point, I felt that I was broken and that the issues that I deal with on a daily basis were going to be too much for a man to want to have to deal with. Um, and I really wasn't, I mean, I was honest about it with the men that I did meet. And, but I was honest, but I wasn't completely transparent, I guess is the way I should say it. They knew that I had some issues, but I didn't really share, like how I felt on a daily basis with them because I didn't want to scare them away. And, um, and I figured that every failed relationship had one common denominator, and that was me. So I
Mm.
definitely wanted to fix what it was. I guess the straw that broke the camel's back was that I was ghosted by a man
Mm.
that had been dating for, I don't know, about 2 months. We'd been seeing each other, and he just, boom, he just cut off all contact with no, I mean, it was just like, here today, gone tomorrow. And and I struggled with that. I was devastated. I had never experienced that before. You know, breakups are hard enough, but when somebody's telling you to your face that they no longer want to be in a relationship, but this dude, he just ghosted me. So then I
Wow.
was like, all right, I've got to fix something. There's something
Mhm.
about me that is keeping me from finding the person. And I used to pray every night, please God, send me the man that you're preparing for me,
Mhm.
get him ready. But deep down, I didn't believe he existed.
Okay.
I was
So what
praying,
was that like for you? I mean, what were you feeling when you were there and you were like, okay, well, I really want this thing, but I don't believe he exists?
right. It was terrible. It was a terrible feeling because I was like, well, they're just that man, those men just don't exist for me. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
stuck with taking just the little bits that they give me here and there. And and the 3 month relationship burnout, I was just so tired of that cycle. The 3 months
Mhm.
and then something comes up and somebody's like, oh, I'm out, because we hit a bump or something came up, and so they would just. I was, I was convinced that men only liked that feel good, that couple of months of feel good stuff, and then when it got kind of boring or every day or mundane, that's when they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find somebody else." So
Right. Well, and there are men out there who probably do that. So I'm curious
well,
to know what changed for you. I mean, what what changed for you when you did Super Loved? I know you did the camp and you did some 30-day programs. What was it?
um, it was realizing that I was lovable the way that I am, and that there is somebody out there that I just have to believe that he's there and call him in. And that's really what you helped me realize, was that I'm okay, and somebody is going to accept me for every part of me, all that is broken, and that all that is that works and is fixed, and the things that kind of are held together with some duct tape on days. But you helped me believe that I'm okay the way that I am. And then you made me believe that he was out there. And so I was like, all right, if Macy says so, it must be true. So, um, and then I just really, I took, when I did your camp, I've got this notebook and I just took notes days after day after day after day. And then the 30-day programs that I did with you, I took notes. I've got this notebook full of notes in there, and it's just amazing. I still go back and I still read the notes that I took from camp and the 30-day things that you went through. Um, a lot of my issues were, it was my brain, and so that's the major organ in your brain, in your body, and so a lot of things that you do with the meditation and the visualization, those things really helped bring me to center. And I mean, I do meditation anyway, but I didn't get out of it what I got out of how you lead us through meditations in those classes.
Yeah, I mean, you changed a lot. I will say, I we had calls before you even started that, and seeing you now, your energy is just so different and it's so exciting to see. And, you know, I'm so happy that that was a factor. And one thing I want to acknowledge about you is that you chose that. I mean, you actually chose beyond your, sadness or hopelessness or frustrations that were there, and you made the decision to invest in yourself and show up to these classes and take the notes. And that really is a key part in why you know, did create what you did. So tell us where you are now. Tell us about what happened.
So, my true love, his name is Rich, and um, last May I had some pretty serious knee surgery, and I was sitting on the couch after surgery, and I was like, well, you know what? I got all this time on my hands while I'm healing from that, and I was ready to put this into action, And I had, before surgery, I had been, trying out these things, and you and I went through you helped me through a little speed bump for the person that got me ready for who I'm with now.
Yeah.
And uh, so I was sitting there and I was just going through Bumble, actually, and I was like, oh, all right, this guy, he's not divorced. And it just, I kind of needed to get away from the divorced guys, even though I'm divorced, and there's nothing wrong with being divorced, but it just seemed like that was not the path for me. And this guy was widowed. He's a widower.
Mhm.
And he was married for 27 years, and his wife passed away. And I was like, okay. And so we got to talking, and we just started talking, and I couldn't see him because I couldn't leave the house for about 3 weeks after knee
Wow.
surgery. Right. I couldn't get out and go because it was pretty massive knee surgery. And so I couldn't get out, but as soon as I was able to go out, so we spent 3 weeks just talking, texting,
Mm.
talking, getting to know each other. And I think that was really, really important. And then he shows up, and we go on our first date. It was to one of those wine and design kind of things where you paint and you sip wine while you paint and stuff like that. So, and
Fun.
I am not artistic at all, but I didn't tell him that when he told me that was our first date. I kind of inside, I was like, oh no, I am not artistic at all. But it turned out fantastic, and we just clicked. And on our very first date, so we're at this wine design, and they're like, oh, so the other people there are talking to us, and had chit chat, and they said, so how long have you all been married? And we're like, we're not married. This is our first date. But that was just the energy, and
That's the
and
energy.
his energy matched my energy, and it was cosmic. It really was. I mean, it was just divine, and has been that way ever since. And the things that I learned through the classes with you, I'm putting into action with him, and there's this communication that I've never had with anybody ever before, not in a romantic relationship. This communication is fantastic, and I don't hold back anything. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't be as transparent because I didn't want to scare them
Right.
away.
Right.
I am very transparent with this guy because he makes me feel safe. I'm safe
Mhm.
with him, and he gives me that opportunity. to be safe and to share how I'm feeling. And, you know, the more he gets to know me, the more he can tell when I'm not feeling well, because it's kind of, you know, it shows on my face a lot too when
Mhm.
I'm just not feeling all that well. And it's just, it's absolutely incredible. And I mean, I give his wife did a really good job of getting him ready. Man,
Well, I love that because I think I hear a lot of people who are can sometimes shy away from a widow on an online platform, maybe because they think, well, he's always going to compare me to his previous wife and all of that. And what I love about that is, for those men, many of them, if they're online after having that loss, they know they want a relationship. They've had a relationship. They know they want a relationship. So seems like that was the case with him too.
well, his story is that he didn't know what he wanted right after she passed. You know, of course, he was
Yeah.
grieving and all that, and so it took him about 2 years to figure out. Okay, I I don't want to just date and have the friends with benefits kind of situation that he was having. He's not that kind of person, deep
Yeah.
down. So he told me, he said, from the moment, because he didn't believe I was real. But remember, because we met online and we talked for 3 weeks, and I kept saying,
Yeah.
as soon as I can walk better without a walker, then we can we can go out. And so he was like, I didn't think you were real. I thought, you're gorgeous, and you have this great personality and all these things. He goes, and I just couldn't imagine that you would be interested in me. And I'm like, well, look at you. You're hot and you're smart. I mean, he's so smart, and he's so caring, and he's just everything I've ever wanted. And
I
he is
love it.
amazing. And I got these for Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Diamond earrings.
I
Okay.
know. Yeah, got those for Christmas because he listens. Because I said one time we had a conversation, I was like, "Yeah, I used to have my ears pierced a long time ago, and then I started playing basketball, and I just quit putting them in, and just I've never had them re-pierced." I said, "But I've always said if somebody wants to buy me diamond stud earrings, I'll get them, re-pierced."
And he
So
did that. Oh my gosh, you got your ears pierced. That's amazing.
yeah,
I
so
love it.
he listens, but it's just the things that I learned going through the stuff with you, how to communicate and how to show up as my true and authentic self, instead of making myself, not allowing myself to be who I truly am and be truly loved for who I am. And I think that makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, it totally does. And I love that that was what changed things because now look at you. You get to have this relationship. I mean, how do you compare having life with him by your side to where you were before? Like,
Oh, yeah, there. He actually helps me with my journey through all of the things that I have to deal with. He really is a rock for me. Whereas before, I just was out there just bobbing in the water all by myself, and
mhm.
grasping at a hand here, grasping at a hand there. But yeah, so that's kind of an illustration of how it was. But now I have this solid foundation and this rock next to me all the time that I know I can turn to, and he's there for me. So
Yeah. Well, it
in
sounds
all
like
ways.
you're both there for each other in amazing
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we
Really.
did. And earlier you said something about how people shy away from widowers because they don't want to be
Yeah.
compared. There was a lot of comparison in the beginning, and
Yeah.
it was not Sonya versus Mary. It was uh, well, this is how she did it. And so, I would say something like, so I was thinking about something that you said the other day or earlier today or whatever. And he told me, he goes, that gives me a lot of anxiety because Mary would do that and it would lead to this big argument kind of thing. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to argue. I don't have the bandwidth for arguing
Yeah.
and drama and intensity and that kind of stuff. I don't have that bandwidth anymore. And I don't want that. I was like, sometimes it just takes me a little longer to think about things and process things and then bring it to you. I said, so it's better for me to come and bring it to you than for me to hold it in and build it into something that it's not. So that's something that you taught me.
Oh, I love it because the vulnerability then lets you get
yes,
to know each other even more. Like, that's
yes,
so cool.
yes.
Well, having this, I mean, could you put a price on what it's like to have a beloved person?
No, no. And
Yeah,
what you and I talked about before, I kind of
yeah,
did like the bare budget thing, but that's just, that's just my situation in life. But there's not a price tag, and you
yeah,
are an amazing person. And even when even when you didn't have to reach out to me, when I told you, when we talked about that speed bump, the fitness
yeah.
guy that was before this guy, you just reached out to me, and you were there for me, and it didn't matter that you were just being a good human being. You weren't using, you weren't the dating coach. You were just being you as a good human being. And so I just wanted to let everybody know I appreciate that about you, and that whatever you put out there, everybody should buy.
Well, I'm so glad. Yeah, I mean, if people are on the fence and thinking, "Oh, should I invest in myself to figure out this relationship thing?"
Yes.
What would you tell them?
Yes, absolutely. Invest
Yeah,
everything that you can. That's what I invested, what I was able to invest. And yes,
yeah.
it has made all the difference. And I share with people, I'm like, and I used to be kind of like, well, I used a dating coach, kind of went through this, but now
Mm.
I'm like, hey, you know, this is the best thing that I ever did. I said, and has made all the difference. And look at this person that's in my life. My mom absolutely loves this man.
Oh, that's so great. I
She
think
doesn't.
that that's a secret. That's like one of those amazing bonuses when you know your mom doesn't have to worry about you or
Yeah.
your mom's happy. I mean, that's like the greatest gift of all.
And she keeps saying, "Don't screw this up, Sonya. Don't screw this up."
Ah,
I'm not gonna screw this up, Mom. Come
I
on.
love it.
Yeah. So
So,
she loves him, and she's never really liked anybody. And I was married for 13 years, and she didn't really like him from the beginning. But anyway, so yeah. Um, hey, that's your endorsement now. Do my thing, and your mom will like
yes, I love it.
the
I
man who
love
comes
it.
into your life.
So, can you officially say that this man is your super loved?
He absolutely is.
I
On
love that.
all levels, I feel a love for him that, I mean, it it's it's transformational, this love. I mean,
Yeah.
it really has changed my life for the better. And and when we get to spots, we've had some spots with some rough things, and you know but we talk about it and we get through it, and it's just amazing to have this person in my life. And I thank you so much for helping me get to the point where I believed he was there, and that I could be loved for who I am. So yeah,
I'm
it was
so
all you,
excited for
Macy.
all you're creating. This is so awesome.
Yeah.
So, yay. Thank you for sharing all of that. And anyone out there who's listening, like, what can this be for you to have more ease in your life, more joy in your life? Go from, getting out of those doubts and feeling like there's something wrong to a place where you're adored and you're clearly adored by your super loved guy, and I'm so happy for you. And you're moving in together. Congratulations.
Yes. Yep.
So,
As soon as we can get his house sold, which it shouldn't be hard with the housing market now. But yeah.
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 Okay. Well, more to come then. I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear. Well, thanks for sharing. Bye, everyone.